Hey guys, welcome back to Make Money Count. Normally I say how excited I am to be in the seat, but I feel like this is going to be the new norm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Before we start,
Yeah.
Matt always used to remind us of this. Please hit like or subscribe and leave comments. That level of interaction really helps the algorithms identify good content and present it more times to people. So I don't know. Matt used to think it was very important. So please keep doing it.
I mean, this is good content.
You want to know what I'm going to start off with today? The ultimate of good content?
What is it?
So I read a great article. Do you want to know something interesting?
Tell me.
Jeff Bezos is getting into the mortgage business, and not just any mortgage business. Jeff Bezos is essentially investing in the MIC, our MIC at Cannect.
Lies.
Well, in a roundabout way, Jeff Bezos, his family office, which I think is called like Bezos Expeditions,
Okay.
is investing in mortgages, equity loan mortgages between 50, I think it maybe was like 250 and $5 million bucks. And it's for people that are real estate investors, people that are building homes, people that are fixing homes. But you get the gist of it. Jeff Bezos is timing the market with his massive Jeff Bezos-like operation, has decided to start investing in mortgages. So I think we can think of that as like kind of two different factors at play here, right? One factor being that a lot of really smart people around Jeff Bezos have told him that this is a good time to enter into a market on a risk-weighted return basis. And number two, Jeff Bezos has so much money that like he could just put it, like it's probably not enough places to invest for the amount of money that he has, right?
And he's pretty good at what he does, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I don't think he's going to get it. He doesn't get a lot of things wrong.
If he's watching, I want him to know that he could invest in Cannect, and we've developed a fully automated lending platform, and I would be more than happy to partner with Jeff Bezos.
So everyone watching this needs to tag Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you know Jeff Bezos, maybe send this to him or tag him.
Yeah, tag him.
Jeff, we should be partners.
I mean, all you have to do is take Jeff Bezos out for a lunch.
The other thing, yeah, for sure. Or a nice long dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
How many bottles of wine you think Jeff Bezos and I would have over dinner?
I don't know. 3? Is that a lot? I don't know.
3 bottles of wine would be a lot. Like, especially considering like maybe there's like a martini before dinner.
Right.
And then after dinner, what are you going to have? Like a Calvados or a cognac or like a...
Don't people drink grappa after they eat?
Maybe an Amaro on the rocks or a grappa, yeah. I don't really like the just straight non-barrel aged grappa. Typically, I get the barrel aged grappa. So Jeff, listen, like we should probably pick somewhere Italian for my my ability to select well off the wine list.
I'll be sitting at the next table, just listening in.
That would be awkward.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that I was part of it, or if you watched this to get to the lunch, then I guess you would.
I think now, if he's watching this to get to the dinner, he's already opted out of the dinner, thinking that we're the type of idiots that would like, for some reason. And also, can I ask you a question? Why would we conspire to have you sitting next to me at the dinner table, like at a nearby table? What value are you going to add to the conversation? Anyways, I thought it was really interesting that he's getting into mortgages. I think it's indicative of an overall trend of people starting to realize that prices aren't going to go further down. And he's not investing in the Canadian market. Not yet. Not yet anyways. Maybe after this, maybe after he sees this, realizes the dinner that he's in store for, then maybe we got a shot at it.
There you go.
In addition, Jeff, in addition to great dinner conversation, I also fashioned myself a little bit of an economic pundit. And without any further ado, Jeff and the rest of you, why don't I tell you a little bit of what's going on and what's going to happen for the June 5th Bank of Canada announcement. Ready? Okay. Anytime I talk about economics going forward, you'll know about it because I'll hold the pen.
That particular pen?
Yeah. The pen will signify that I'm ready to speak about what's happening in the economy. So the two indicators that we love to use to see what is happening with interest rates in Canada. Number one, the CDOR TMX market. The CDOR TMX market Austin, will you pull it up for me? Okay, so June 5th, we have a Bank of Canada announcement that is in not so many days. The market now predicts a 50%, 49 as of today, it's 49% probability that we're going to see the Bank of Canada drop 25 basis points. We have been saying this for quite some time. We don't think we're going to see a 25 basis point drop. The reason why the probabilities of the rate drop have increased slightly since last week when we spoke is that Canada had another CPI number. So StatsCan released a new CPI number indicating that inflation continues to cool. We had one show where we really dove into inflation and the core CPI number that the central bank really likes to use in order to monitor inflation. That's, if you remember, that's when they strip out the goods that are the most volatile. And some of those things are volatile because of, unrest somewhere in the world or seasonality or a strike. So stripping out all of that, the CPI number is still trending lower. The Bank of Canada should be very happy with that CPI report. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be happy enough to drop interest rates by 25 basis points. I still think July is when we see when we see a rate cut. And I think that if things continue to go the way they are going, and again, last week we spoke about real estate prices, which are kind of holding on by a thread right now, but all leading indicators for real estate prices are showing that they're going to come down. So many listings hitting the market, huge problem. Fewer buyers in the market. Everyone's sitting on the sideline because of interest rates. And the fact that interest rates are so high also prevents investors from entering the market. You want to know something else that's preventing investors from getting into the market?
Tell me.
Tenants.
Right.
So in Ontario specifically, there is a real problem with the landlord tenant board.
Mm-hmm.
Landlords are finding it impossible to get rid of a tenant for up to a year, even if that tenant isn't paying rent.
Longer than that.
Yeah.
In some cases, with some of my clients right now, it's crazy.
Yeah. Like we've seen clients borrowing money on a second mortgage to subsidize their mortgage payments because they have a scumbag tenant in their property who knows how to play the system. And these tenants will just jump from one property to another property, never paying any rent.
It's insane.
Yeah. It's almost like the government has this impression that anyone that owns a rental property is so rich that they should be able to afford carrying that mortgage. And shame on you for owning a rental property, first of all. You own a rental property? Oh my goodness. Well, you should never be able to get rid of a tenant. And that tenant should be able to stay there as long as possible. And they don't need to pay you rent because you had enough money to buy that rental property. What they don't realize is these people, these hardworking people who are investing further in the Canadian economy by buying a rental property are getting murdered by the interest rate on their first mortgage. Think about it. You bought a condo for $700,000. You got an 80% LTV mortgage on it. So you got $560,000 mortgage on that property. The payment went from being 2% to 6%. So who has an extra, it's like $60,000 a year in payments. Who has $60,000 a year of extra capital to push into an investment property with a tenant not paying you? And can you imagine the anxiety and the dread of waiting every month for your opportunity to go to the landlord tenant board and have somebody listen to your case of someone living in your unit and not paying you anything? Well, answer me, Justin.
It's sad. It is sad. It is sad. And again,
something has to be done, right? And this speaks to creating an environment that fosters investment. And I know we spoke about there were a bunch of topics that people wrote down that they wanted us to talk about today. This speaks to even the capital gains tax, right?
Yeah.
Introducing a higher tax on capital gains is another thing that doesn't foster innovation, doesn't foster invention and investment in our country. What it does is it pushes people away and gets them to invest somewhere else. Why do you think it is that the government of Canada is contemplating a $25,000 tax for anyone who wants to leave Canada?
Really?
Yeah. Crazy, right?
That is crazy.
That's the direction we're going in now.
I saw some like propaganda video from Justin Trudeau, and it was talking about this increase in capital gains, and he was kind of trying to save face and saying that it was going to affect like 0.005 of the population, but that cannot be true. That can't be true. It's insane.
It's honestly, we have a prime minister who doesn't know what the numbers are, right? He says that. I don't know what the numbers are.
Yeah.
Okay. And he now is going to tell us like a percentage. If you don't know numbers, start with 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Don't jump into 0.05 right away, right?
I don't know that it was 0.05.
Yeah. Well, whatever the number was, it was
Yeah.
a decimal.
It was
right?
yeah.
He's using decimals now.
Yeah.
He should start with 1 to 10.
Fractions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's a 100% bad idea to increase the capital gains tax.
Yeah.
Okay. And far more people than what he anticipates or what he's been told will be impacted by this. And that's because there's knock-on effects. Anytime you enact some type of policy in order to increase revenue for the government and you think that the government is going to be able to spend that money more effectively, you're wrong.
Right.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work like that. Governments are inefficient. They're bloated and inefficient. That's the nature of how a government operates.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is all to say that I don't even know what it is all to say.
I mean, you're very passionate today.
Well, I think
I do love that.
thank
I do love that.
Yeah.
It's almost like you've been personally burned by someone squatting in your house.
I have 3 squatters in my house, but they're my kids.
Yeah.
And they're so cute.
They're not old enough
That's
to work
why
yet.
they make children cute,
Yeah.
right? So they can get away with the things that they get
Yeah.
away with.
100%.
Yeah. No,
I have 3 squatters in my house too, but they're furry.
cats. Oh, I guess I have a 4th squatter. I have a 4th.
Yeah.
my
you have 4
cat.
squatters.
Yeah.
I'm not a crazy cat man.
Anyways, listen, as long as we're along on this line. Oh, wait, the pen has to go down because we're not going to talk about interest rates. Actually, wait 1 more second. The Bank of Canada is not going to decrease interest rates on June 5th. They will decrease interest rates in July. Depending on what happens with what continues to happen in the real estate market, if we see a sudden uptick in the real estate market, then look for rates to stay a little bit stickier. If the real estate market continues to go the way it looks like it's going to go, then all bets are off. We're going to see a steeper drop in interest rates because the Canadian economy is so reliant on real estate prices. And this is already a problem.
This was my question I was going to ask you earlier, actually.
Pens down.
But I didn't want to take away from your passionate rant. Do you think that the Canadian market in general is so like that as soon as they do any sort of interest rate drop that the market's just going to go crazy and everyone's going to blow their brains out and start spending money again?
25 basis points?
I don't know. It's like an exciting, oh my God, we're back. It's back. It's going to come down. Here's the beginning.
Right.
Like,
So you're saying, do I think that with the first 25 basis point decrease, we're going to see an increase in demand on the real estate supply demand scale?
or soon after that?
No,
Okay.
no. I don't think, I think we will see an increase in demand,
Right.
but I don't think it will be able to sop up all of the supply that's hit the market, especially in the condo market.
Right.
Like pre-construction condo market, dead. Great segue.
Great segue. I love
Right.
that.
So in the infinite genius of the government of Canada,
Yeah.
they've decided to introduce, and this was done in April, and it gets enacted now in August, so
August,
like in 2 months. First-time home buyers get a 30-year amortization on an insured mortgage when purchasing new construction. So this must be as a kind of tool to help stimulate that pre-construction market and get condos built because it is such a huge part of GDP.
Right.
The problem is it still takes so much time to get a condo approved and interest rates are high.
Right.
So all of these things, that these little policy changes and more money to CMHC to help build rental and more money to municipalities if they listen to the federal government and this new little 30-year amortization carrot are not going to have the intended impact that the federal government believes that these initiatives will have because interest rates are high. And interest rates are, along with labor input costs, productivity sucks. We don't have enough people to work. So input costs and construction costs are increasing. Interest rates are high. So the two of the input prices to build a new building are extremely high. And as a result, the other input costs are decreasing. Land costs are decreasing. Great time to buy land right now. Great time to buy land. You notice because no one ever says, remember how everyone always used to say, well, they're not making any more land.
Yeah.
Why'd you buy land, Bob? Well, they ain't making no more of it.
That's good.
Right now, land to buy, like to build a condo on, is so cheap, you would think that they are making more of it.
Right.
But I have not seen any barges in Lake Ontario creating palm-like islands a la Dubai. I've not seen that happen. So they are not making any more land, at least not here in Toronto, where we also do not seed our clouds to induce massive rainfall.
That's pretty crazy. Eh?
Yeah, that's funny.
That's wild.
Listen, land prices are down, and that's just a factor of them getting squeezed because interest rates are causing additional costs to builders.
Right.
And labor costs and construction costs are still quite high. And all of these initiatives are going to just build up, and then interest rates are going to decrease. And then the federal government is going to say, oh man, looks like it worked. But you know what? It didn't work. It's just interest rates are going to come down.
Yeah.
And then all these stupid initiatives that cost the Canadian taxpayer money are all going to be hanging around there, wasting the Canadian taxpayer more money until someone comes in and spends more money to remove them. And then they realize, oh, wait, it all just happened because of interest rates. And what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to get in the middle of interest rates. We're trying to affect more change on the economy in between what the federal government, what the Bank of Canada is doing with monetary policy. Good luck.
Yeah.
More nonsense, more disaster.
More spending money.
Yeah. But if you're looking to buy a new pre-construction condo because you've been lobotomized, like you could buy an existing condo right now for less than $1,000 a square foot in the city of Toronto, or you could buy a pre-construction condo for
$1,200 a square foot
for a
minimum.
bargain for $1,200. I guess you wouldn't have to be lobotomized. Like that's a bit crazy. You could buy a pre-construction condo, and the benefit of it would be that you would be closing in 2 or 3 years, at which point interest rates are lower. You would be exposed to lower interest rates. Very likely when interest rates are lower at that time, pre-construction market would be hotter. But if you want a condo right now, resale.
The funny thing too is like over the years, obviously we're in a very different time right now, but like over the years since pre-construction started to get very exciting and started to become a big thing, there was always like this idea that like it was a bit silly to buy pre-construction because you're buying at an inflated price or whatever the case may be is, and there's no way you can make money on that. And people continue to make money on it. Not right this second, but it does. There is something to be said about it for sure.
I'm a big fan of reversion to the mean. Right? What do I always say?
Reversion to the mean?
No, I always say there's a line I say.
I know a lot of Marxisms. I can't pull this one right now.
Okay, I'll start. Let's see how many words of it. It's not many words. I think it's 5 words. Yeah, it's 5 words. It starts with the new normal
is bullshit.
Yeah.
We used to love that.
That's kind of reversion to the mean, right?
Yeah.
The new normal is bullshit.
Yeah.
So the idea that land now is going to be cheap and that's just the way things are going forward is bullshit, right? Things always revert back to the mean. Howard Marks, like one of my favorite investors, almost like a philosopher, the way this guy writes his newsletters to his investor base, says that the market's like a pendulum.
Right.
And it swings between greed and fear. And it very rarely settles at that perfect equilibrium point.
And we're in the fear portion right now.
Right now we're in fear.
Yeah.
And then we'll swing back into greed.
Right. So scrape your pennies together and buy land.
The problem is like if you're buying land or buying anything on the wrong side of the equilibrium and selling it on the other side of the equilibrium, you are destined to fail.
Right.
Buy high, sell low. That's what I always say.
I don't think many people say that.
All right.
Well, I mean, listen, I had a good time today. I was very entertaining for me. I sat here and watched passion flow from you like this was like some sort of Shakespearean play. I loved it. I did love it. I think that's all for today.
I got nothing else to say. I got nothing else left in the tank, JT.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Thank you very much.